right to a channel of light fluid. Welcome back to Moonfire, a Seeker's Saga. And if you remember from last time, we got to the end of our journey, got to the town, and we're going to pick up basically chapter 2 here. And let's see how far we get today. I'm going to try and get to a big chunk of this. And yeah, we'll see where we end up. But it's this stuff I haven't actually played yet. I've been too busy to read any further on this. So it's going to be new to me, as well as you. Nearby I could see up and into the castle windows that sat many nobles. Within was Cora, and beside her I would assume the queen. Her hair was long and elegant with braids and a golden crown atop her head. Her gown was white and laced with gold in similar fashion to Alikar. Within her lap she held a linen handkerchief that she frequently brought to her face to wipe away tears. Here we stood, overlooking the sea. Before us a stone tower stood atop 4 large columns, each forming gorgeous brick arches that encircled the structure entirely. Within it stood artfully arranged wood and sticks that surrounded the stone block within its centre. The arrangement clearly set to be a large bonfire, only needing a mere spark to set it ablaze. A small clergy mass slowly brought out a figure that was heavily wrapped in gold clothes, and a crown sat atop the figure's head. The way they carried him, my initial thought that it was a statue of Vesnar. But as they brought him by and I saw the delicate details of his face and body, that I realised it was that of the actual king himself. His skin had grown immensely pale, the point was nearly greyish yellow. Cracks had formed across his body, and his head did not flow with the movement of the clergy that carried him. Is this what happens upon death? Was this what that bandit was turning to when his blood had begun to fade and dry? What was this? I observed as the clergy carefully set Vesnar atop a pedestal in the centre of the tower. The process alone took several minutes, while every movement was gently and cautiously made so as not to disturb him. When the clergy were done, they left a circle and gathered around the tower, beginning a low, slow hymn. Far below us, the tower sat upon a circle of rocks among the waves that beat repeatedly around it. A sharp ocean breeze splashed mist upon us with each crashing cycle. Slowly, a group of 3 came down the pathway towards Vesnar, each holding a single torch with the flame lit bright and flickering wildly. Once nearing the end of their hymn, they set the torches in unison within the tower. With a sudden glint, the bonfire quickly ignited and blazed passionately. Fueled by the winds of the seaside gusts, the heated air blew up the hearth-like tower. The clergy raised their arms to the sky. With the wind came a swirl of heat from the blaze that rippled their gowns and the linens that dressed the king. The delicate, fractured body of Vesnar slowly chipped and flaked away in the breeze, like pieces of loose ember from a firewood log. What was once a person now turned to dust. Soon, nothing was left upon the pedestal as golden ribbons laced the sky above. What was first carried by the heat of the fire was now swept by oceanside winds. Within the sky you could see the glistening that reflected like 1,000 stars under the light of the sun. I was struck with immense awe by the beauty of it all. The clergy below called out to the sea. As we form today, we send Vesnar's soul to the sky so that he may find his way to the mother tree. Here he will find safety and comfort, to watch over us through the grass and through the sky. Aswin show him the way, Athea hold him dear. For a long while many stood and watched as the glistening in the sky slowly faded from view. Some few slowly left one by one. The air was now heavy here. I turned to Fendur, who was no longer by my side. I'd lost him in the crowd. Before me, Kali approached. I can see in your eyes a fascination for our gods, Geraint. I respect that, for the follower of Aswin will be watched and safeguarded by them in return. I hope it was beautiful nonetheless. Topics such as gods matter little, though, in the affairs of creature kind. The Queen is pleased you have brought Caller home safely, and will speak with you now. She knows of someone who may shed light on your story. Valentia grew quiet for a time. Some creatures unmistakably whispered as I passed by with Kali in the streets. They were too far from earshot, but the way they'd look and lean over towards another displayed enough. Did they whisper about the king? About me or Kali? I could not quite tell. Just as we approached what I assumed to be the Queen's castle, large bells began to toll. They echoed through the half-empty streets with a feeling of deep melancholy. I felt distant from the situation, unsure of the significance of it all. Through an entry courtyard we walked with hedges on either side of a long central pathway. Guards stood within the courtyard, adorned of armour and polearm by their sides. Ahead of us sat rows and rows of a steep staircase, leading to a grand castle of 2 large towers on either side, the spiral taller than anything I've ever seen. Inner city walls surrounded the castle and the courtyard in its entirety. Large dual wooden doors waited at the end of the steps, with Cameyo waiting patiently at the side. Kali turned to me once we climbed the stairs. Beyond is the crown hall. Let me make sure the Queen Lavella is ready. Hey, Geraint. Cameyo speaks as Kali enters the hall. She's leaning her back against a stone wall, with her left foot propped back against it. She twirls a throwing dagger in her paw. You look bored. Yeah. She tilts her head to the wooden doors. Valentia drama inside. I tend to walk away at that point. So you just wait outside? What else am I to do? I'm not in Haven Hearth for fun. What is it you plan to do? What do you mean? Surely you've thought of what you do when you got here. It would be nice learning how to fight. Cameyo nods with approval to my statement. He'll be wise to, and maybe we can spar someday. Cameyo twirls her blade once more before setting it in its sheath. Down the courtyard from us I could see Fenrir slowly approaching with Cameyo by his side. Cameyo tilts her head inquisitively. Fenrir, you come to the castle? I don't know. We were told to come see the Queen. I'm unsure why she'd wanted me. I'm here for only the day. Interesting. Yeah, it's a waste of time is what it is. I wanted the rest in the soaking sanctuary tonight. Oh, Geraint. We don't even get to show you the best part earlier. Beyond the rooms of the tavern are steam baths. I looked at Cameyo, waiting for more of what felt like only introduction to his story. He blinked, simplistically awaiting my response. Sounds very relaxing. Well, they really are. Oh, perhaps you'd enjoy them. The 4 of us stood waiting for someone. See the annoyance build within Fenrir as he glared at the large wooden doors, his eyes permeating disgust with an icy stare. All the time she could have seen me, he mutters. Then she makes us wait to decay with this. Fenrir pushes against the door. With the mass of the oak wood, it hardly moves an inch. He props his entire weight against it and vigorously shoves. With all his weight, the wooden door flies open, swinging the entire length of the hinges. With nothing to stop it, the door slams against the stone wall on the other side. The stone booms through the corridors like a rabid ogre slamming his fists. Fenrir storms in without hesitation. I look to May and Cameyo shrug in return. Then I can hear the shouts of dispute, interrupted by Fenrir. A lady's shout retorts against his. Cameyo waits a moment, most likely letting hostilities die before entering. I do the same and follow with him, Cameyo shortly behind. With the open hall before me was a vast throne room. Massive columns spanned from floor to ceiling, with flags and banners along the walls. My observations interrupted by the arguments ahead, which clearly have not died down. At the end of the hall sat the Queen. Near stood Cora, watching an assembly of guards standing by. Among them was Cameyo, who bickered with Stenmere and a group of his mercenaries. Beside Stenmere stood Geraint, his arms crossed and a look of concern across his face. The Queen scanned the room. Disregarding our entrance, she speaks to Cameyo. So the men we spent to dispatch of a few fiends, or so you call them, have all perished. Every single one? Cameyo's demeanour does not stir, his tone unfazed as he responds. Unfortunately, yes. So we now have fiends to the west, bandits prowling in the east, the maskins at our doorstep sniffing and snooping, Aswin alone knows what they want. And now, my sweet Vesna slain right here in Havenhearth. We are losing our grip on Valentia. We will not have this anymore. We will need to handle this carefully. I'm sorry, Your Highness, but I don't think this be the topic at hand. I'd like to know if you'll honour the death gratuity, Queen, for my men lost in battle yesterday. Stenmere steps up, boldly interrupting. Ivera takes a slow breath, recouping her thoughts. Of course, Stenmere. I do no wrong to the Knights of Raven. Your services are gravely needed. About that, Rain puts his hands out to his brother to let himself speak. The Knights of Raven put themselves at risk every day, Your Highness. But with the dangers that have risen even more so, morale will fall without sufficient compensation. You'd simply walk away from contract? You speak wrong, Callie. We cannot honour it like this. Our men risk a lot to protect others, Callie. We cannot send them, nor expect them to want to fight a little in it for them. I have and always will honour their sacrifice. I know not why you fret. I need more. We'll take the gratuity, but cannot continue service without more. Brother, you must relax. What happened yesterday was no ill will from Lavera. She will honour our men. The Queen looks to Callie, her head tilted with fingers to her brow. We have the gold, yes? Well, yes and no. None more if we pay the families of the fallen. We could negotiate less, if that is... No, absolutely not. That would not be right of me. Stenmere perks, looking to Callie. You have already stretched the Crown's funds. It is sensibly impossible to do so again without repercussion. Surely the banks have enough. We don't have to ask too much, just what is fair. We do not die for free. Callie audibly scoffs in return. The very is adamant in respect to the Knights, Stenmere. Your men will be paid. I don't see what your dog brain misses in that. Stenmere shifts his head back, stepping up to Callie. In mass unison, every Queen's guard swiftly placed paw to the hilts of their sheathed swords, readying themselves. Rain quickly threw his hands up to hold Stenmere back. Brother! Enough! Callie, pay Stenmere the gratuity as of now, every bit of this deserved. Stenmere, appreciate your men's aid and sacrifice. We will need time to figure this out. Surely you understand. I do, Queen, Stenmere replies, glaring to Callie as he rips the bag from him. We'll be in Raven's Hollow if you need us again. Callie shakes his head as they leave, all the while Fenrir keeps his arms crossed and his eyebrows raised. You call me for a show? By Aswin, just go. I don't care what you do with yourself, Fenrir. Fenrir throws both his arms up, confused and frustrated. Cora hurries down the steps to her brother. Fenrir, I gave Lavera an idea you might like, but please wait. Lavera gathers herself once more, finally turning to me. It is Geraint. Lovely to meet you. As you can see, we have a lot on our plate. She laughs, of which from sarcasm. I heard it was you and Rain himself. She paused to use a glance of shame at Callie, who had made it to Cora in time to aid her. I'm forever thankful for that. We have spoken and learned you know not yet of your memories, correct? I nod my head. We want to reward you, but you've seen firsthand that we only have so much to go around. It takes a lot from Valentia to be happy, and they seem to never notice. We'll repay you with knowledge. There are but two in Tavnord that know all, the dual divine. They may hold the answers you seek. The dual divines? The divines teach us everything there is to know, as if reading our lives from a book already written. They can tell you events instantly from across the land, of secrets or even when someone passes that very moment. They are who teach even the seekers. Nothing gets past the divines. We feel that surely the divines of anyone will know of you, but we also know that does not suffice. Offer your place upon the guard. With a writ from me, the divines will teach you the power of our ancestors. From there you can take this skill in aid in Melenthia. And do not worry, while we cannot pay absurd fees for mercenaries, the weight of a single creature's pocket goes unnoticed. Harley adds as he steps up from a nearby table, where he grabs another small bag. For food and travel. He tosses the bag into my hand, unsure what amount is sufficient in this land. The weight of this felt more than the sword itself. I would like to mention that Geraint should not go alone, Cora chimes in, turning to Fenrir. You're free to join Geraint while I'm stuck here. I see as Fenrir's face lights up, then instantly sheds away with worry. You cannot come with? Why? It is not safe for Cora to immediately continue her travels, at least not today. The Queen turns to Fenrir and Cameyo. I would like for both of you to accompany Geraint. The roads are always scoured by bandits. We cannot risk instant of someone with power.
I like your travelling, your highness, but I have an inn I must take supplies to.
We have already sent someone to deliver them to Leon for you. I fear Tal has really grown since we last saw of her.
Oh, indeed, she has.
Unfortunately, you have no guards to spare for Geraint.
I should be fine.
With all due respect, Geraint, it's not just for you. It's about Fenrir's safety as well. Until you can truly wield power, neither of you should go alone. I can go with two, I guess. Beats just staying here for Aswin knows how long. It is up to both of you, as long as Geraint and Fenrir are not alone. However, Cameyo, we are planning to launch an initiative in return. I think it would help you. We want to sell plots of land near Leon for half their worth, to bolster Leon's economy and security. We know this can benefit your inn greatly.
True. Oh, what the heck.
Cameyo looks off for a second, then turns to Cora.
If you can let Tal know, please. She need not worry.
I'll have plenty of time in my hands. She will be told. Don't you worry, my friend. She nods to Cameyo. Is there anything I need to know? Worry the road will be long, as all roads in Melenthia are. The divines make their stay in the mountains southeast of here. The largest mountain range, you cannot miss it. They divide Rixlian from the hillsides of Raven's Hollow. Here, this may help. Carly hands me another item, this time an old rolled-up map. Take a moment to glance at the markings on the old stained parchment. The main road here leads from Havenhearth all the way to Zemir. Once you pass the river, you can head south on a small path. That will lead up the mountains and to the Divides. Doesn't seem too hard. Adventure awaits. And your hoots as I roll the paper up and place it with my things. Please be safe. Are we heading out right now? It is up to you guys. I prefer you stay in town until the morn.
There's a trading camp we can reach shortly before nightfall if we leave now. It would be safe to camp near them than out in the open.
Leaving now would also mean the cover of a setting sun. Just stay safe.
We should head out now before we lose any more light.
The others nod. Cora, although look with concern across her face, walks with us to the edge of town. Be good, Fenrir. Cora looks down to him, her eyes glazing over as she tries to hold back tears of worry. She fails mildly, with a single drop to glisten her cheek. Fenrir smiles, hugging his sister. I will, don't you worry. Near the city gates, Cora turns to me. Tell me you'll keep him safe. I promise. Cora smiles softly. She turns to Cameyo, handing him a small satchel. Some bread and carrots for the road. I'm in hopes the trading camp will have hot stew for you guys. If you were to stay, you might yet have some.
Oh, yum. We'll be alright, Cora.
Right. Be safe. It'll not be long before we see each other soon. She hugs Fendur. We turn to the road, officially leaving Haven Hearth. Something within me stirs. I feel excited, yet anxious. I hope this dual divine will have the answers I seek. I'm guessing a red flag means roll for initiative. We'll see. Can we play a game? Definitely not. Count me out. Aw, come on. Geraint? Sure. What is the game? Have you ever played I Summon? Needlessly, I shake my head. Well, I start by summoning something that I can see and you have to guess what I'm summoning. You get 2 guesses. If I get to summon it, I win. Simple enough. Alrighty, let me see. I summon with my little eye something green.
Okay, that's just too easy.
Cameyo chimes in from the background. Maybe. Let's see. He turns to me. Tree? Nope.
What else is there?
There's no trick questions, right? Oh no, not allowed. You can ask one more question. If you guess wrong again, I win the summon. Is it something I can see? Yes, it has to be something we can see. Moss? Ah, nope. It was a bush. Fendur chuckles with triumph.
It's a bit more fun to pick something more unique, Fendur.
Hey, I have to start with simple for Geraint's first game, okay? Maybe I'll... Speaking with a tone of slight concern, Cameyo interrupts the party. Should we not be arriving to the trading camp by now? The sun is already 4 in the light, soon with it.
I could swear it was close. Well, let me see the map.
Cameyo stops walking as he takes a peek at the parchment I hand to him.
Let's see. Well, I think we're here.
You think? Do you even know where we are? Let me see that.
I know, I am sure. Besides, how would you know?
You're everywhere with Cora. Guys.
And you're her guide too?
Well, no. And you? You hardly ever leave Leon.
I'd have you know that...
Guys! Cameyo clears his throat loudly as we all look to her. Behind her stood a darker furred fox with a blade to his throat and a firm grasp on his shoulder. His fur was grizzled with a lingering odour I could smell metres away. He had to be a bandit or peasant at best. He perks his eyebrows towards the rest of us. You guys bicker a lot for travelling companions.
Oh, I kinda knew of this.
Cameyo stutters as 3 more bandits step from the shrubs surrounding us. The dimming sunlight hid their dirtied armour well in the thicket. I can see that. The bandit nearest me spoke. I turned to see a masculine lizard with an axe already drawn and pointed to me. My heart began to race as I lowered my hand to the hilt of my dagger. Don't. I could chop you where you stand before your dagger is halfway out of the scabbard. He slowly shakes his head. You're that human the creatures of Havenhearth have been talking about. What are you doing? Cameyo mutters under her breath, the cold knife digging against her neck fur. The bandit smiles at Cameyo. I know you, but you know me? Cameyo glares as he speaks, tense and responsive to his question. Well, you should. It was my men that stormed your caravan. Why you... Fendur steps up to the bandit. The lizard merely raises his foot and kicks him down.
Fendur, don't.
Cameyo raises his paws, but is halted by the nearest bandit, who separates a space between them with his weapon. I look to the bandits, trying to find a way out of this. There was 4 of us, but 4 of them as well. With only half of us trained in combat, we hardly stood a chance. My heart continued to pound furiously. I could feel the pulse within my very head distracting me. What do you want? A lot of things, really. Gold, power. A true leader on the throne would help too. He looks at me with a crooked smile. Join us instead. We walk the true path of the righteous. Are these creatures? He points his axe to Mayu and the rest of them. They took everything from us and created a now divided Valencia. He lies, Geraint. They are Culven rats. Fender, stood upon the ground, crawls away from the bandit's reach.
No one took anything. Queen Culviette went berserk. Her family's demise was by her own hand.
See how easy they lie? Join us. My father was a friend to them. The Culvens betrayed him. You rile peasants and thralls do your bidding, make everyone hate each other. You walk a path of decay. Fender angrily throws a handful of dirt to the Culvens. He leaps from the ground to tackle him. From the corner of my eye, I see Mayo break free of the fox's hold. With a swift twirl, she cuts deeply into the fox mid-draw from a dagger. I realise now that I must act fast. We're already used to our sword. Let's use our dagger. The Culven throws Fender aside with ease. I pull my dagger and charge him, anticipating him to meet my charge with his own, was misguided as he jumps back, hurling his axe through the air. I leap to the side with little luck as the axe manages to cut across my forearm. I wince, feeling an instantaneous stream down my arm. I step back, holding the wound tight with my other hand and glancing quickly at the others. Under the commotion, Cameyo became separated from us as one of the bandits advanced on him, slashing at him wildly. He held his spear close to himself, trying to block the fox's blows. Kill them all! I just want the human. The Culven stares me down, not yet realising one of his comrades had already fallen. The large bandit steps back as the 4th, a lizard with sharp, hateful eyes, rushes me with blade drawn. With Cameyo too far, Mayo alone joins my fight. I'll risk a strong attack here. I swing at the bandit. Made it. The bandit slashes me with her blade. The blade draws blood. Let's try another strong attack. She's got 3 HP left. Yeah, we don't need to use our healing potion yet. Let's hope this works. I swing at the bandit. Just enough. As I swipe for a final blow, the reptilian raises her own hand in a desperate attempt to stop me. My blade barely misses her hand, slicing across her neck instead. With a gasp, she falls to the ground. Geraint! Mayo shouts to me as I turn to see conflicted eyes, fleeting worried glances between me and Cameyo. Have Cameyo first, I yell to her, turning to the Culven lizard as he approaches. The snicker crosses his snout as he draws a second hand axe from his belt. I was wishing no fight would come before the Divines, but that hope is long gone. Let's try and dodge. I wait to counter his next attack. Oh, nice roll. As soon as he nears, I roll in the opposite direction of his swipe. Before he could turn to see me, I drive my dagger up and into his torso. I rip the blade across his scales as I jump back out of range, unsure how deep the blade had gone. He wildly swings at me, blinking rapidly and clinging to his wound before falling to his knees. He yet lives, but only just. I turned to the others, noticing Mayo's charge scared off the bandit overwhelming Cameyo. The Culven lizard before me was the last one. I turned towards the Culven bandit, grumbling in pain before me. You not know who I am? He coughs, a stream of blood flowing down the side of his maw. I am Tama. This name sparked no recollection to me. I turned to Mayo, who wields a face of spiteful recognition, followed by one more quizzical. Tama, the leader of the Culvens. I know Tama's face from sketches. You are not him. She turns to me. He's lying in hopes we take him captive. Please. He holds up his hand. We stumbled across you by accident. He looks away from Mayo and directly towards me. I'm just trying to get by. The best I can. You lie. Always lying. Fender slowly approaches, his hands balled into tight fists. I get you have hatred for me. But you must know there's no other way for us to live.
It's against the way of Aswin to kill.
Cameyo pauses a moment.
But she also forgives when it is done to protect oneself or others.
I'll leave Melenthia. Anything. Please. You attacked us. I gripped the dagger tighter in my hand. We didn't know who was approaching. We have to fight or we get attacked by someone else. I paused for a moment. If Melenthians did take his livelihood away, forcing him into this life, is he truly at fault for it? Did he have a choice? But his actions. No one changes their ways overnight. I stand nearest the lizard while the others look on towards me, waiting to see what I do. I know what I think I should do. Let's see what Cameyo thinks. What should we do? I turned to Cameyo, awaiting his thoughts.
I truly don't know, Geraint. They tried to kill us. But if you let him go, I would understand why, and the gods alongside me.
Well, since I can only ask two of them, that is majority vote. I won't do it. I won't kill him. Only because I am nice will I let you go. Make retribution for yourself and change your ways. He nods thankfully towards me. And leave Melenthia or I might not be able to give you another chance. I place my dagger within its sheath. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. He tries to stand, but only manages to sit up. His wound's quite ugly. Yeah, as long as the wolves don't get me first. You won't happen to have anything to help, would you? Your life is a gift you should never have received. That is all you need today. Geraint is kind today. The moment I see you again, I'll make sure it's the last, with my own hands. Can we go now? If anyone else comes around.
Oh, yes, the trading camp can't be too far off. They probably just missed a path somewhere.
With that we turn, leaving the fox to his wounds. Not far off I could see the tops of poles and tents ahead, so we crossed the narrow stone bridge. We should have taken him captive, for information, or something. I feel freedom was too nice for him. I don't think he had anything. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not part of the Culvens either. There are plenty of bandits out here. Fender scoffs. And how did he know about the attack on a caravan? Word travels fast in Melenthia. It wouldn't surprise me if everyone knows now. I trust no one's word.
We did kill his friends, left his fate to the gods. I think what we did was just.
Geraint, Mayo shouts, tossing a torn and tattered pouch towards me. Find the bandits. Figured he didn't need it. Another 45 gold, nice. Oh, and a health potion. We arrived in time as some creatures were still out and about their campgrounds, chattering with one another. At least a dozen tents scattered the grounds, with a plethora of trading stalls in between. Considering the time, everyone was already closed and began cooking their stews and meats by the campfires strewn throughout. Laughter and chatter filled the air as many looked curiously over upon our approach.
Plants!
Cameyo waves at a friendly creature standing by the fire. Many of the others look over, but a certain tiger stands out, wielding the largest smile as she rushes over. Cameyo! She roars with excitement in return. They both embrace arms, a sudden thump of a gleeful hug. I've not seen at least 100 suns, or has it been more?
Well, definitely too long, I say.
Plant smiles and nods, looking at the small group of us.
Oh, forgive me, these are my friends.
Cameyo takes a moment to introduce us one by one.
Geraint, this is Plants. She's a trader who travels through Leon from time to time.
More than an apothecary of sorts, but I sell my wares when I can. I've been too long since I've been that way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Why is that? Your family still owns the shop, right?
They sure do. I love travelling when I can, but it rarely happens. With the bandits on the road and all that. Business is just better on the eastern fronts. I tend to just stick around the shop itself.
I see.
That must be dangerous. We just barely ran to a few bandits a mile back. Oh my, how trepid. It can be mighty dangerous, but it comes with the territory. This is why most of the bandits stalk around here. Best to never go alone, friends. She beckons to a group of soldiers standing by the fire. You can see a small number of them bearing raven insignia upon their shields. Plenty of mercenaries willing to help.
I'm glad to see you are thriving. We'll talk around the fire soon, but I must set up our tents first.
Cameyo nods and turns to Fendu.
You should come help me, Fendu, so it can be done before it is dark.
I guess. The others shuffle about as I sit by the fire and gaze at the flames that dance around. I feel a bit more rested now. Okay, short rest, nice. Always keep some health potions if you can. Actually, let's just top ourselves up. There we go. We're now fully hay. Shortly after sitting about, letting the warmth of the fire contest the rising chill of the afternoon, a small group of creatures approached me. Some of them I'd spotted earlier, with raven insignia upon their armour crests and shields. Oh, and they're called Geraint. The first to approach me hoots. You fought alongside Rain, I heard. The second mentions, approaches as if we've known each other already. He slaps my back and smiles. Rain mentioned you fought, all right. Very furless. Thank you. This is your first fight, living in any circumstances of victory. The first adds in. The two behind them couldn't help but nod in agreement. We just wanted to come meet the furless for ourselves. Maybe one day we can fight alongside you, see what you're all about. For now, safe travels. The first nods as they all head back to the table they came from. Cameyo and Fender had soon finished setting up the tent, while Mayo hung around the edges of camp, studying the various creatures and their daily activities. Although the night was still young, I felt mighty exhausted. Cameyo rolls a tree stump over to me and joins in the warmth of the fire. Do you get to travel often?
Oh, not very. When I do, it's almost strictly between Haven and Leon. So far, I like what the road has to offer, despite the terrifying bandits. It allows me to clear my mind a bit.
Clear your mind from what?
Oh, I don't know how to say, but when I'm home, it's just not the same as it used to be. It feels as if everything has changed. I have no power to control where it ends up. The Queen now says she may offer incentive for others to move there and bolster it. Last one, bless her heart, I'm not ready for that either.
people in the Yule will make it safer. That's a good thing.
That is true. I worry about Tal a lot, so hopefully that will ease my mind more when I'm on the road. I can only imagine she fears for my safety just as much. Thankfully, I have you guys here with me. It'll be a fun journey, and the road leads many places.
So, tell me about Tal.
Ah, my sweet, sweet Tal. She is the kind one. Treats every guest as family. She's several years older than Fenrir. When Cor and them ever visit, Tal is right there to keep him company. They'll play for hours, but fight like rotten siblings too.
Cameyo tilts his head back with a soft chuckle.
Oh, I wish I could take her with me. But then no one would be left to watch the inn. I'm glad she enjoys the work though. It's as if she was born for it.
Where are you from?
Well, I was born on a farm not far from Abo. I always wanted adventure, as there's not much else to do. I dreamt of joining the Ravens, but we could never afford professional training or school, so my father taught me to wield a spear himself. I tried out for their mercenary positions when I was old enough, but after some trial fights, let's just say they were not the most kind afterwards. I was definitely upset at the time, but thinking back, I'd have never lasted after seeing how they handled things. I appreciate the chat, Geraint, but I should be heading to bed now.
Cameyo lets out a loud yawn as he stands, giving a gentle smile to me before heading off. I take a walk around camp, observing what few critters stayed up, some taking up arms to guard for the night. A small jingle of something beneath my foot tumbled as I walked. I looked down to see a small pile of coins. 156 gold. I don't know, that seems weird. Just have it there. I find it best to leave the coins. They seemed intentionally placed. I approach Mayu, who casts a quick glance at me before returning her eyes to the tiger plants. What are you doing? I was wondering something. Who do you think would win in a fight? Plants or Cameyo? I'm not so sure. Oh, come on. Why'd you ask? It only crossed my mind because Plants is a feline, sharp claws and all. It's what makes us good hunters. Cameyo, he couldn't even hurt a squirrel if he tried. But then again, they are both softies. And what is it you were doing?
I just came to talk is all.
How far do we have left to go? To the Divines? Oh, not long at all. There's a trail leads directly from the camp up the mountain. We'll be there well before noon, then we can start our journey back to Havenhearth. Hopefully tomorrow we can make it all in a single day and spend comfort in a mattress. Where are you from? Zamia. Where is that at? Just east of here.
What's it like there?
Oh, anything different than here.
Do you not like to talk about it?
I just feel no need to is all. I didn't choose to be here. It's not part of the happiest of memories, so I like to leave it at that. Excuse me, Geraint. I'd feel safer checking the perimeter of camp once more. I head back to the warmth of the fire. With that, I head to bed. A long day awaits us all tomorrow. Hey, what? Oh, wake up. Everyone else is up. I hear a rustle from Fender as the figure barges into the tent, knocking over a pan that clanks loudly against the ground. What the orc, Soma? Grogley arrives and stared at the figure by the entrance of the tent. It was Soma, standing before us, judging our setup with a sneer. Hardly any glow of light shone behind him, indicating sunrise is yet to happen. I see, like, only 4 people set it up. Fenrir peeks out of the tent as the small group lighting the first campfire. Yeah, I'm going back to bed. He flops against the sheepskins, tossing a batch of the woolen blankets over his face. I didn't expect you so soon. Mayu slowly sits up, her cat foot mangled and twisted in every direction. Sending word of increasing bandits will recall us. Of course, she dispatched me immediately. Soma scanned the tent for a moment before speaking again. I'll let you get ready. More creatures rose. They began to set up for the day. Refreshments were being prepared, weapons brought out to sell, merchants dusting their tables clean. I'll look at the stalls before we leave, can we? We shouldn't. Please.
Oh, let him see. Just a quick glance, then we must go.
Fine. Yay! Geraint, can you watch Fenrir? I'll help Cameyo in the tent. Look at that. Yum. And that? Are you supposed to eat that? I will throw up. I think it has to be cooked first. Yeah, no thanks. What else do they have here? Any woodworkers?
Woodworkers?
Yeah, sometimes they'll make cool toys or puzzles. Puzzle ones are fun. Maybe we could get you to the Mercers. What? No, I don't care for new linens. They're not as comfy as mine.
Hey, you good, sir. Come here.
And it was the tradesman calling to me as the three of us approach.
I can't have noticed that sword on you, but they can't even cut a mouse no more, can it? I'll buy it off you. Perhaps you buy yourself a new one while you're at it.
For how much? I can offer you 25 gold. That sounds good to me. So this is how we trade things. I mean, this is...
And the traveller's more by a fiend again. All been found trying Father East too. It must be safe on the road.
He doesn't have any swords to replace it. I think another health potion would be good.
That was my last one too. I have to get more of those.
Yeah, all we really have is this sword. Yeah, I think actually I might just keep the sword.
Well, safe travels.
Oh, this was fun, Geraint. Thank you. Wish I had a woodworker. Dang it. Ready to go? I turned to answer Soma and noticed he was speaking to May and Cameyo, who just approached with their bags tied and ready.
We shall grab a bite to eat on the way back to Haven, though. I don't think I'll make it.
Here. Soma pulls a few sticks of dried meat from his pouch to hold you over.
My Aswin. Yes.
Who wants to take point? Okay, trusted party member. So we can choose Mayu, Soma, or Cameyo. Fenrir's obviously isn't an option because Cora's not here. I think I trust Cameyo. He seems to know where he's going, so I think we'll put him as the leader for now, or at least up front.
Nice. Well, let's head out.
Okay, so let's head off to the Divines. Once we left the open areas of the trading camp, the trail heading south slowly climbed higher. The farther we walked, the path became more constricted, or leading to layers upon layers of steps that snaked through the hills. The air grew thinner with each step I took as we climbed atop the mountain. We were finding ourselves stopping more frequently to catch our breath.
Almost there.
Cameyo exasperates aloud, more for himself than the others. I continue walking ahead with Cameyo by my side.
Are you nervous, Geraint?
Not really.
That's good to hear. The dual divines don't really see others anymore. They used to train a lot of creatures in the arcane arts, but only the seekers tend to see them.
Have you ever met with the divines?
Oh no, don't think they'd have anything to say to me. Afraid to say I'm not a very important creature.
You're important to me.
Oh, Geraint.
Cameyo flushes red, quickly glancing away as if to hide it. Nice. How many seekers are there?
I think just one. Probably not the best one to ask about that.
How much farther?
I'd hope not much more, honestly.
Little else could be heard amongst the forest. Aside from our steps atop the cobblestones, an occasional tweet of a bird. We grew quiet again as we focused on the path ahead. Once I felt we were nearing the top, Fender broke out in a series of questions he most likely compiled during the climb. Do you think the divines are immortal? They say they started the Seekers. The Seekers are old as millennia. How does that work then? No creature is immortal. What makes them divine? What is that?
You're asking the wrong creatures.
I imagine they have to be sent from Aswin herself, no?
I could see it. Have you asked Cora these questions?
I have, but she's only seen them once. It's all they speak what they see within you, however that may be. She said the Seeker sees them regularly, but even he cannot get everything from them. So that makes them not as powerful as you think then. Not unless they hold that knowledge to themselves. Seeker can only do so much. What does Seeker actually do? Well, generally they travel. They know as descendant of Aswin. It's up to them to seek her path and spread her light. How so? Well, for Cora, we go from place to place and she'll talk to the creatures, heal the sick with treatiers. Most know of Aswin the Arcane do know what it means to follow in light and prevent decay. It's decay who consume the Forsaken lands. How does one prevent decay? The biggest is not to kill. Unless provoked. True, but one to be merciful, faithful. If we don't, decay will devour. And you believe all that? I don't even know what Cora is doing. She's the most kind out of many. When we arrive to towns, they don't greet her the same as they were the Queen. How often do you see the Seeker? I used to drop by Haven regularly, but I don't see him as much anymore. How many Seekers can there be at one time? Only one. When they grow old, a new one trained to take their place. In this case, it'll be Cora. We'll find out soon enough. I guess so, huh? Anything other than another tree was a blessing of a sight. Ahead of us was just that. The sun began to break its peak the moment we approached an opening ahead with some structures laying in wait. Finally! Fender hoots as he begins to sprint the last flight of stairs. He makes it halfway up before he stops to lean against a tree and pant dramatically.
Not the best idea.
I could use some water. Agreed. You don't even have fur when you're down, I guess. Someone mutters in a facetious sort of tone. We pass through the arches of a small crumbling wall to a larger opening with two stone cabins ahead. They sat next to each other, fully encircled in a landscaping of thick bushes and vines that twirled within the stone cracks. In front sat a small garden and two stone benches parallel to the entrance. This side the opening overlooked a steep hedge with rolling hills below. The mountain view was particularly astounding. Outside the cabin was a single creature, digging among the garden dirt with a shovel. He'd have missed us if he didn't glance up to wipe sweat from his brow. He scanned the five of us, smiling only slightly once he recognized Soma.
Is that one of the divines?
I know, he's one of the homekeepers.
Soma, right?
I bet a while since you've been up here.
Yes, it has.
Him?
He turns to me specifically, head tilted with a questionable glance. I can only assume he doesn't get much word up here on the mountain. Cameyo steps up, handing in the signed writ from the Queen with a short explanation of my arrival and then request to train me.
Interesting,
he says before tossing his shovel among the dirt.
Let me take this, the dual divine.
He dusts his paws off in his tunic before heading inside the farthest cabin, returning only a few minutes later.
It'll be satisfactory to you. The dual divine wished to speak with the human alone.
I look at the others around me and nod with understanding.
As expected. Do not worry, Geraint. They tend to only see those who need them.
I take a few awkward steps forward as the keeper leads me to the stone cabin and opens the door for me. I step inside to a dark room before me. It takes several moments for my eyes can even adjust to the dim light. The room was hardly lit by a dozen candles strewn throughout, and the sunlight could barely permeate the window's thick stained glass. I half expected a musty or stale smell, was pleased with the aroma of lavender and iris incense. Once my eyes adjusted to the low light, I felt a calming mood wash over me as my tense nerves relaxed within me. The walls were adorned with parchments of symbols and maps, decorated with vibrant red inks and gilded edges. Piles of books laid atop the tables and strewn throughout a multitude of shelves, encircling every edge of the cabin. Within the centre spiralled large roots that twisted among themselves from floor to ceiling, breaking up from the cabin floor below with pots and stones lined in circles around its base. The thing that stood out above all else were two towering beasts that knelt with heads bowed in prayer. Their presence was unsettlingly large, like none other I've ever seen. They stood floor to ceiling with peculiar shapes glowing in soft aura from behind them both. They rose swiftly upon my entrance, yet stood silent in observation for what felt like a moment too long for finally speaking.
A human.
The creature to the left spoke first with a low yet soft tone.
Woke from nothing, void of memory.
The second creature orchestrated with the first. I stood still, unsure if I should yet speak.
Queen Lavera asks of two things. I ask of one. Step forward, child, and touch the world's root.
They beckoned to the pillar of roots in the centre of the room.
Just as you seek from me, I seek from you. One thing at a time. Let me see your intentions first, child.
I slowly stepped forward, glancing to both of them before I raised my hand and placed my palm flat against the roots. I was instantly soothed with the flow of warmth in its veins, a pulse I could sense within its depths as the feeling began to sprout through me. As with a tear tree by the campfire, the heat became sensationally unbearable as I closed my eyes. I felt I must prove something as I grimaced, doing anything but pulling away. My mind swirled as colours raced behind my eyelids, until... Instantly my vision blurred, and before I could react, I was in another place. I opened my eyes but could hardly see. It felt like a dream, but I was there, in it and aware. The only thing I could comprehend was a woman's voice. She spoke in a strong yet confused uncertainty.
I sense something. You? Who are you really?
I tried to turn towards the voice, but felt alone within a room. No, more of a ruin. As I tried to speak, I felt a sudden rush to my head, a feeling of being sucked back as I felt the touch of the roots among my fingertips. I gasp, I fall back into my body and pull away from the roots. The dual divine stare at me unspoken and with no expression. They stand on either side of me, with the ends of their tails now wrapped around the base of the roots, touching it the same as I had done. The first one speaks again after a shallow pause.
I am pleased to know a soul such as yours is with us. Your kindness radiates, and I feel safer speaking with you than many. The duty of creatures be among gods, and the duty of gods be among both. Asriel will never detest you if you choose not to believe, but she may aid those who return her love. I have been upon Earthia's midst since before Melenthia ever was. I have seen every creature pass the veil from every corner of Tavnor. And although no longer mortal, I still weep for those I have known from birth to death, like a creature among its pup. While I may know much, I do not know all. As Melenthia and her creatures look up to me, I cannot divulge to them what may destroy hope. What befalls our future is uncertain but bleak, as I am seeing things I have never seen. I trust in you that I may be open, as what may come cannot be tackled alone. Now tell me, what is it you seek?
Why do you trust me?
Intuition mostly, perhaps desperation. More things will happen now than has ever happened in a century. I trust in you because I must.
What future do you see?
Some things I know for certain, others can only be pondered, as I have existed for too long. The actions of creatures are predictable, but never guaranteed. I fear decay is growing. The manner in which you have arrived mirrors how I have seen others go. The difference be that you are alive, as they all had perished. This is what scares me, child.
Why does it scare you?
Darkness resides within creature, just as it does among gods, as even they are not perfect. But I feel that this darkness has become welcome here. As Earthia has her children, Cameyo has his own. Some futures may be more real than even I had once comprehended, and that is what scares me, my child.
Am I the only human?
As I see every soul that leaves Earthia, I have never once seen a human such as yourself. I wish I had answers for you, my child. I really do. Maybe there is something neither of us know that you will find before me.
What do you know about me? Do you know anything that I might not know myself?
Come here, my child. Hold onto the root.
Reluctantly I reach out again and feel the heat race through my body and rush my head. The dual divine breathe in unison as they inhale one long breath, followed by an even longer, heavier exhale.
I saw when you arrived. What you once held no longer yours, hands of which had taken, already empty. Many thoughts they change, worry and fear always follow. I wish I knew more, just as you.
What was taken from me on the beach?
No longer for Aswin is its use. Thoughts come to us. Something we see but have never seen before. As I had sensed you, I sense it now. But its thoughts are always blinded. Whatever was so powerful to bring you here left a footprint in the arcane. But now it hides in the shadows of their minds, unable to be used properly, their minds too feeble to trace. I did not know your existence until you are already here. I cannot see what is not known, but I could see it, what you held with you. A piece but a part of something greater, a conduit, a weapon.
What do I do?
Do as you have been, and answers will surely follow. As the Queen of Melenthia has asked, I can share with you access to the tapestries of the arcane that weave around us.
Who are you?
I am no one now. Who I once was, even my true name, has died with time. I have chosen my path, after death, to guide Melenthia in hopes of a better tomorrow. I have created kings, settled wars, trained seekers, but my reach is only so far.
So who are the dual divine?
I am the root, I am the divine. Who you see before you are the voices to my words. While it is not secret, very few know this truth.
I wish you could tell me more.
As a mother to her child, not everything can be described in detail to an adolescent. So much goes back to the beginning, before even Malenthea. But you would be here for weeks if I were to tell you all. But you deserve more than this, so I will help you as you will to me. What you see of Tavern and their creatures today, the lands of which have divided, the creatures of which have chosen their path, these were all set in motion from actions long ago. What you held on that beach, many have dreamed to take. As I could see you upon your arrival, so could the others with their claws torn deep into the veins of the arcane. Do you know of the tree tier?
Yes, I do.
As you know then, they are a gift from the World Tree and Thea herself. But there are some things not even the Queen knows of directly, at least. For over a millennia, even before my time, Thea has held 3 stones of great power, each with their own capabilities. Unlike tree tiers, these are not of this world, but a gift from Newa. They are better known as moon shards. Great power is held within these, and great consequence with even the smallest of actions. What you held, although not a moon shard itself, yet still a conduit to the power it holds, it will aid them in finding it. This is why I urge you to have haste. Learn what I can show you, aid the Queen, and maybe you can find it before wrongful hands. But first, I must train you. Hold unto my roots and close your eyes once more, my child. I must warn this process will be longer, less pleasant than before. But if you have faith, then you will heal from Aswin's light.
I clear my throat. I reach out with both hands this time. I press against the spiraling roots once more and close my eyes. The emotions were all the same, so the sensations of sudden intensity exploded through my hands and into my veins. The warmth trembled through my blood and shocked every organ within my body with its heat.
Relax your mind, Geraint. You are doing good. All is fine.
I flinch as I feel my very body shaking, my arms growing numb, my fingertips begin to feel as if 1,000 needles shred my very skin every passing second. I don't know if I can handle much more. My very body convulses. I try to pull from the roots themselves, yet it does not let me go. A crouch in pain as my body goes limp and my vision goes black.
And that is the end of Chapter 2 of Moonfire Seeker's Saga. A bit later than planned. It was delayed a week due to me being ill, and it was delayed from actually yesterday because I had several technical issues. So it's a bit late, but we will be returning to Moonfire Seeker's Saga before the end of November. It'll be on the 30th or maybe on the 23rd. I haven't quite decided yet, but it will definitely be up one of those days, and we might do a couple more chapters. We'll see how things go there. Coming up this weekend will be more Nevin, and I am trying to get Far Beyond the World recorded for the end of the month, so hopefully that'll be up maybe on the 31st. We'll see how things go there. But before I go, I quickly want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon, especially my top patrons: Omar, Rafu, Spiderling, Smuto, Tiger Cub, Amaterasu, Opus Need Coffee, Andy Bear, Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Baker, Brian Hall, Cobus Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvest Mouse Productions, Ade Corval, Evan King, Kartek, Matt Kenya, Mario Cervantes, and Mohamed Arzano. Special thanks to all of you. And if you want to support the channel, it's $2 Canadian a month. Gets you whatever I post on Patreon about these videos, which sometimes is short, sometimes a bit more rambling. Occasionally the odd post, which is for patrons, and access to the Discord, which I recently set up. So if you you want to try that out, yeah, $2 a month, that's Canadian dollars, whatever in your local currency. But feel free just to watch. Just watching, liking, commenting, all helps the channel, so thank you. And don't forget, you can find Moonfire Seeker Saga on Steam. If you want to download it there and buy it, you can definitely get it there. And get ahead of me, because I'm sure you'll play it faster than I can get to these videos. But yeah, that is it for now. Thank you for watching. Thanks again to Moonman Studio for sending me the key to this. Much appreciated. We'll be back to see what's going on with the Dual Divines in a few weeks. Bye for now.